Hello and welcome to autoportal.com, the car buying website that helps you buy better. Well, Mahindra has been known as the maker of rugged, no-nonsense and affordable SUVs in India, and the Scorpio really has been the company's poster boy for a while now. In fact, the Scorpio really is the poster boy for affordable SUVs here in India. Well, the new Scorpio picks up from where the last one left, and of course with a lot many changes to its dynamics, interiors as well as looks. So let's find out how good this new car really is. Well, though the overall silhouette of the Scorpio looks more or less the same, the face is in for a dramatic change. The car really does stand out from a sea of SUVs out there. It looks bold, striking and very aggressive. Key design elements of course include that big grille up front, which has cat claws shaped design in it, the air scoop in the bonnet, as well as those striking headlamps. The side profile of course is complete with those muscular wheel arches, and the back now has this huge plastic cladding which really does help negate the bulk on this massive door. Overall, though the Scorpio might not be to everyone's taste, it does look macho, aggressive and very striking, just like an SUV should be. Well, the Scorpio really is big on the inside, and I'll demonstrate that to you by opening up the boot space for you. Well, as you can see, it's a wide opening door. Now this can be a bit of a problem if you are parked in a very tight space and there's another car right behind you. So that's a bit of an issue. But that said, I mean, have a look at the space over here inside. This really is one of the best cars to move your house in. And because it's a very tall car, the roof is very tall, you can really load it with a lot of luggage. Well, there are two seats at the back, and that really does help practicality of this car, makes it a genuine 7-seater. But unfortunately, the space, the legroom in these seats is going to be a bit of an issue, and I'll demonstrate that to you now by getting in them and asking my cameraman to sit in the other seat as well. Well, as you can see, the legroom is just about decent, but you know, it's a bit of a snug fit. I'll get back in the first row of seats to show how good they are. Well, I'll start with the Scorpio's bad points first. And there are a few in this car in the front seats. First of all, it's not a very practical place to be in. There aren't too many bottle holders. In fact, there's only one big bottle holder over here. Also, the door pockets are not deep enough to house any major items in them. They can house maybe a cloth or something like that, or maybe a magazine. Well, the other issue is that when you want to adjust the front seat for height, getting to that seat adjustment handle can be a bit of an issue, because the cushioning on these seats is so wide, it goes all the way to the door pads, and you really have to squeeze in your hand, and that can really be a bit of a nightmare. So you have to open the door and then adjust it for your height, and that really can be a bit of an irritant when you are traveling and driving down on the highway. Well, let's talk about some positives on the Scorpio. Quality levels are at par with other rivals, and Mahindra really has improved it from the last generation of this car. Cabin quality is pretty consistent, and this black and light grey really does work in this car's favor. It feels like a very airy cabin. The front seats themselves have got a good amount of cushioning, and they really are wide and long, which means that under thigh support is really generous, and it can be a very comfortable car for those long journeys. Well, and if you want to improve the comfort even more in the front seats of the Scorpio, you can of course pull this armrest down and sit like the boss. Well, this of course, being the top of the line version, comes completely loaded. You get Bluetooth connectivity for the stereo, automatic climate control, and this of course is the micro hybrid, so you get a start stop button over here, automatic wipers, automatic headlamps. Well, the stereo screen also helps you give information from the onboard trip computer, so you get your average economy, distance to empty, as well as the temperature outside. You also get information like tire temperature and pressure, and the gauges look very nice and sporty, and the steering wheel is good to grip as well. Overall, full marks to Mahindra for providing the Scorpio a much improved cabin. Well, I'm in the back seat of the new Scorpio now, and we'll start off with the classic Auto Portal headroom and legroom test. And As you can see, legroom is pretty decent, and I've got space under the front seats to stretch my legs at. Headroom is really massive in this car, and the seats themselves really extend all the way to the edge. They really do extend till the door, and that really does help you get a wide cushion area. And it's also a very wide car, which means you can genuinely sit 3 passengers in good comfort over here. And there's no transmission tunnel also, and there are also AC vents at the back, and also a place to keep your sunglasses or put your cell phone at. So good place to be in the rear seats of the new Scorpio. Well, the Scorpio's rear seats are very practical as well. You get a place to keep your phone at inside the door pocket, and there's also place to house that big 1 liter bottle inside the door pockets. So the rear seats of the Scorpio really are a practical and comfortable place to be in. Well, here I am driving the new and improved Scorpio, and the biggest changes on this car have been made under its skin. This car gets an all-new chassis, and Mahindra really have worked hard on fine-tuning the suspension as well as the dynamics of this car, and it really does show when you take it out for a drive. Well, the 2.2 liter M-Hawk diesel engine from the last car really was a very refined and responsive unit, and Mahindra really did not have to do too much on that engine to improve it. It really was one of the best engines in any SUV in India, and again, refinement levels are very good. Well, the steering wheel for one has been improved very dramatically. It is much more communicative than before, and it really does give you a sense of confidence when you take this car out on the highway. Also, what has been improved, of course, is the agility of the new Scorpio. It feels much more agile. Well, unlike the old Scorpio, where when you pushed it into a corner and you took it pretty fast, your body also went like this and you rolled around with the car. This car, despite being an SUV, really does have good body lean. There's a little bit of body roll because it is such a tall car, but it's very well under control. Well, the ride comfort on this car is pretty good. Mahindra have stiffened up the suspension a bit, so it doesn't waft around even on a straight road like the earlier car. It feels very stable, and even when you are doing speeds in excess of 100, 120, this car feels pretty stable. The braking also is pretty good. It doesn't dive when you brake it hard like the old car again. Well, so in the overall analysis, this all-new Scorpio really does come across as a desirable, dependable and no-nonsense SUV which really has its own charms. And this one, just like the last one, looks all set to dominate sales numbers in its segment. Well, and if you want to know more about this car and its rivals, head to our website autoportal.com, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on this link above. It's bye for now, and hope to see you soon.